All right, and we mercifully, after just all the blabbering in the world about the wild card round, is when I was just incensed off some of these piss poor coordinators. We're going to move on to the divisional round preview, which starts tomorrow in the AFC with the Cincinnati Bengals heading to meet the Tennessee Titans in Nashville. Derrick Henry's going to be back for this game. So with that in mind, what do you see in this one?
Hey man, some just telling me it might get a little hot out there for the Bengals. Here's the deal, man. For all the good things that we gave, all the kudos we just gave the Bengals for, how they took care of business in the wild card round against the Las Vegas Raiders. A whole different ball of wax. Going to Tennessee and a fresh Derrick Henry. You know Tannehill, I would say a confident Tannehill, probably a rested AJ Brown. You know, I'm looking at probably rested Julio. I mean, even though Julio been on the back of a milk carton this year, like how I see this happening. I see the lights being a tad bit brighter than what Joe Burrow is used to. I see the and you brought this up. I'm gonna pluck this little point from you. I will give you your credit. You brought this up first. I see Mike Vrabel being able to do some things that Zach Taylor might be like, oh, wasn't quite ready for that one. Didn't have that one in the study guide. So I don't know, man. Like I see the Bengals being competitive, but I think the Titans. Listen, Vegas got them 3.5. I think the Titans gonna win this by a touchdown or more, man. Something. It's just when I look at how the Bengals won last week, and some of the mistakes that the Raiders made to allow them to win, and then this game was in Cincinnati, so it was at home, and it was this big deal, and Joe Burrow got us this playoff win. I think this week we come on down, come up out of the clouds and come on down with us, Joe, and I think, man, listen, I think you made some points. I think, hey, fresh Derrick Henry, he's going to get majority of the carries. But, hey, Deontay Foreman going to come in. He's going to make money with his carries. To Ryan Tannehill, I think it's going to have that feel that it had, not last year, but I think it was 2 years ago, where, like, Ryan
Yep.
Tannehill was just, like, chilling, giving the ball to Derrick Henry, and now he threw, like, 7 passes a game, it felt like. I think this game has the possibility of being more like that, where Tannehill won't get pressed a lot, and when he do get pressed, his receivers will win the one-on-one battles and make it easier for him. And then you could just milk the clock with Derrick Henry, milk the clock with Deontay Foreman, and Mike Vrabel going to take it to the house. I don't see the Bengals. I don't know. When I look at the Bengals on the offensive side, to your credit, listen, do the Titans really get enough credit on the defense? I don't know. I mean, I think they play a lot better than, am I saying they shut down? No, they don't shut nobody down. But they make timely plays. They're a very good possession team. I mean, third downs, red zones. If they get you inside your 20, I think they can get the job done. Will you move the ball? Yes, but the name of the game is scoring. And like you said, that was one of the red flags from the first game for the Bengals was you was getting in that red zone and you was getting a little tight. So you pull that against the Titans in this divisional round and let Derrick Henry be able to milk this clock, that ain't gonna be good. This is not gonna be good. So, man, I'm looking at the Titans, man. I think the Titans gonna definitely cover. I think they're gonna win by more than a touchdown, and the Bengals gonna look a little more close to earth than they look in the wild card round.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is the coaching matchup to me is probably the biggest, I guess, disparity. Mike Vrabel's been here. I think we got it. Mike Vrabel's up there with, I don't, we maybe at some point we'll go down and make a list of coaches, but yeah, he's up there. It just can be no mistake about it. And got to remember, you know, Mike Vrabel's the guy who a couple of years ago, had something special for Lamar Jackson. So even though, we get it, like, and I do think there's something to be said for Cincinnati coming off your first playoff win in about 30 years or whatever.
Right.
You almost feel like coming on the road next week, number one seed, team that's rested, Derrick Henry coming back. It almost felt like they're poised for a letdown, you know. And even though Derrick Henry, I don't know how good it'll be. I don't know how much work he'll get, but I think it almost could be beneficial to Tennessee because even if he's not 100%, or even if he doesn't get all the carries, I think they're going to do what they can to keep him fresh. And even if he's not 100% Derrick Henry right off the bat, Deontay Foreman can come in there and he can shoulder the load. To me, he's Derrick Henry light. I think he's that good. And to me, I'm looking at Tennessee and see if you appreciate this. I look at Tennessee like a bunch of people on a field trip. And to me, Tannehill's the dude in the front seat that's like in charge, but he really not doing anything. He's just up there like, hey, man, you're going to turn up there or whatever. Derrick Henry's the bus driver. He's the one actually doing stuff. So that's how I look at Tennessee. We know it. We've diagrammed it on this show repeatedly. Tannehill got paid because Derrick Henry got him paid, and then Derrick Henry got paid. But I think for this matchup, this is just it's too much. I think it's going to be too much for Cincinnati. I think the fact that they struggled in the red zone against the Raiders, that's what Tennessee does. I think Tennessee got a lot of bend but don't break in them. I think when they let an offense inside their red zone, that's when they really tighten up. And I think that was a huge red flag for me, Cincinnati having trouble against the worst red zone defense in like 30 years. If they had trouble against the Raiders, I got to believe they're going to have trouble against Mike Vrabel's defense. And also, just to go back to the run game for Tennessee, Cincinnati's run defense, and I know I've been beating up the Cardinals all year for this. So I got to tell you that the Bengals' run defense, they're not very good either. So I really that's the matchup to watch. If Derrick Henry's just in here doing whatever he feels like, and Deontay Foreman comes in and he's just running people over too, it's going to be a long day because, and that's the other thing, when you run the ball as well as Tennessee does, and you get down into the red zone and you start having to sell out against the run, well, that's when you have the Ryan Tannehill act come to town and you have some random tight end, catching a 1-yard touchdown pass. And, it's like touchdown vulturing in fantasy football. So I'm with you. I think Tennessee wins this game by 10.
Okay. So to our other AFC matchup, divisional matchup, Buffalo Bills, fresh off that 30-point smoke check of the New England Patriots, going against the Kansas City Chiefs. But hey, essentially, Jay, both of these teams had a first round bye. They just had to show up and play a little bit. But both coming out blowouts. Both was at home. This game is in Kansas City now, and this is the game that if you would have asked a lot of pundits who you think going to be in the AFC Championship game, these are probably the two teams you would hear the most. Kansas City, Buffalo. These are probably the two best quarterbacks in the AFC, or the quarterbacks that most people perceive are the best in the conference in this game. So, with that said, how you see this one playing out, Jay?
Man, this was tough. I've been going back and forth, but I keep reaching the same conclusion. I'm going Buffalo. I've been riding the Chiefs all year, and I want to say I've been telling people like lately, like, who you got in the Super Bowl? And I've been seeing Chiefs Packers, but man, like both of these teams have kind of been like, I think you go back to the beginning of the season, and you probably would have said like this would be an AFC Championship game again.
Right.
Both teams have kind of, we say up and down a lot, but like, Buffalo's been like way up here, and then plop, you'll lose to Jacksonville, and you're just confused. Like, what is this? Kansas City had the thing where they just started off 3-4 and could not figure anything out. The defense was just awful. Patrick Mahomes, he was just turning the ball over like crazy. The running backs couldn't hold the ball. It was just terrible. And then all of a sudden, things started clicking. The defense all of a sudden playing like gangbusters. And the offense, not consistently, but like, I'll tell you what, against the Raiders, they'll drop 40 of them in a heartbeat. So you have that going on. So both teams have we've seen the very best of them. We've seen some really crazy low points. I feel like Buffalo's ceiling might be a touch higher. Kansas City, I'm just worried about Kansas City, and I'm more worried about the offense. I really am. I'm thinking it's going to be a situation where Patrick Mahomes, for Kansas City to win this game, Patrick Mahomes will have to be at his absolute best because I don't know, man. Yeah, something about Kelsey, something about Tyreek Hill. They just don't look right. They haven't looked right lately, and we know, we've been talking about it. After those two, I mean, it get a little suspect. I mean, I know Miko Hardman did some stuff against Pittsburgh. Well, this ain't gonna be Pittsburgh. This gonna be Buffalo. This is a different ball game. Sean McDermott's got a better defense. Um, who else you got? You got a Pringles can. You got Demarcus Robinson. Yeah, I don't know, man. Edwards-Helaire, I don't think that matters a whole lot, but you're going to leave up the game to Darrell Williams and Jerick McKinnon? I don't know. I think for me, Buffalo, I think Josh Allen's playing great. When you look at what he did against Bill Belichick's defense, this guy, I mean, some of these throws he's making, he's hit. I mean, I want to say that one of the first touchdowns, it looked like he was throwing the ball away, and then all of a sudden, like, oh no, Dawson Knox is there, and he's catching the touchdown. So and then what he does with his legs, he tucks the ball, and he looks like, a juiced up, tall running back that's just like ready to give you a shoulder. It's incredible what this guy's doing. I think to think about where he came from a couple years ago against Houston, laterally the ball to the referee, and we was just killing this guy. What a job, and I think this is a huge game, obviously for both teams. But I really think Josh Allen's in a better position, especially from a supporting cast type of thing. You talked about Singletary earlier, how he's playing better. The wide receivers, the depth at wide receivers, outstanding. It goes deeper than Diggs, Sanders, Beasley. Gabriel Davis can play. Isaiah McKenzie, he can play. We know about Knox, what he's doing. The offensive line, I think part of the reason Singletary has been better is because the offensive line, you roll back and you watch the Jacksonville tape and you're like, who? This is the same offensive line they didn't have that's been good. What is this? Like, why is the other dude named Josh Allen just killing their Josh Allen? It's just Josh Allen on Josh Allen crime. It's crazy. So, but I think, look, they've buttoned that up a little bit. That's helped the running game. And, man, the defense is just solid. The defense is solid. They don't make mistakes. They don't beat themselves. Their safeties, Poyer and Micah Hyde, are both really, really good. I think for the Chiefs, they're gonna have to. I think they're not gonna be able to make big plays. They're gonna have to be methodical. They're gonna have to drive the ball the length of the field. And I think Mahomes at some point he's gonna get a little impatient. I think he makes a couple mistakes. That's not uncommon from what we've seen this year. And I'm leaning Buffalo. Now I wouldn't be shocked if Kansas City wins the game because we know home field advantage. We know how great Andy Reid is. And Steve Spagnuolo's defense has been great the second half of the year. But I'm leaning Buffalo. I'm not sure about it, but that's the way I'm leaning, and I'll take Buffalo by 1 touchdown.
And listen, you ain't by yourself. Vegas not sure either. That's why they got Kansas City by 2, and I'm pretty sure that 2 is for that home field advantage. So, I'm taking Buffalo for the simple fact of this, and I said this to you before the game. Before the show. This is the first time since Josh Allen has been the starting quarterback for Buffalo and Patrick Mahomes has been the starting quarterback for Kansas City that I can say that Buffalo is the better team. I can legitimately look at these teams and say Buffalo has the better team. I just really believe they have the better team. And I know you're saying, well, you only saying that because Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce ain't looking. Well, yeah, that's part of it because they're still playing. So right. If they're playing, if they play the game, yeah, I know they hurt, but if they play the game, I have to consider them active players. So then I have to look at that and say, I think Buffalo is the better team. Because if Stephon Diggs lace him up and he hurt and he don't play the best of his ability, he's still playing, right? So, but at the end of the day, if I did a breakdown position by position, listen, Patrick Mahomes is better than Josh Allen. That one I'll give you. But then I'm looking at Buffalo got a better offensive line. Buffalo run game is playing better. Buffalo has the better overall receiver right now. When you talk about productivity from what Tyreek Hill is doing and from what Stephon Diggs is doing, Buffalo has the better overall receiver. I give you the edge for Travis Kelce over Dawson Knox. I give you that.
Mm-hmm.
But then, Andy Reid is Andy Reid, so I'm not gonna be disrespectful in that part. But man, when we go over to the defense, yeah, the defense is playing better, but Buffalo is the better unit. Like, that's the better defensive unit. Even though Kansas City is playing lights out, got it. You're in this position because you're playing better, but Buffalo is the better unit. So, and hell, Buffalo got a better special teams too. I trust Buffalo kicker. Like, I think Buffalo kicker is about running even with Kansas City kicker, even though most people I talk to say, Booker is the better kicker. I don't know. I like both of them. I think they both can win you the game when it matters most. I think both of them got nice legs. I'm looking at kickoff returns. Listen, Miko Hardman made some plays in the wild card round. I give him that. But that was the first time in like forever. I was like, oh, look at Miko Hardman. He coming to play here. With all that said, man, I just think for the first time since these two guys been like the stars of their team, Josh Allen can go into this game and say, he can look at Patrick Mahomes and say, hey, I think I got the better team. I'm confident in my team. You're going to have to come play for real this time because now I think I have the weapons to win this game. And listen, ask New England who they think the better team. You know what I'm saying? Like, it get a little ugly out there, right? So, no, I'm with you, man. It just everything to me points that Buffalo should win this game, even though Vegas got the Kansas City 2-point favorite. Like I said, the game is in Arrowhead, so I got it. Whatever, no big deal. I'll take Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo by 10. I'm thinking 34-24. The Buffalo Bills in that one. I think Josh Allen finally get that key win over Patrick Mahomes that takes him to the next level where we start saying, hey man, is Josh Allen that far behind Patrick Mahomes? He got to win the Super Bowl, but he start closing that gap with this win right here.